is stage 4, and this is Joseph Campbell as adapted by Vogler. And this is stage 4 of the hero's journey. And I'm looking specifically at burning America in the best interests of the children. Meeting the mentor is where your protagonist gets some assistance, and that might be helpful as well. Stage 4, meeting the mentor. Along the way, your protagonist and screenplay may need a mentor. The hero encounters a mentor that can give them advice, wisdom, information, or items that ready them for the journey ahead. I'm going to offer 3 things a mentor character can do for your protagonist and your screenplay. Number 1, create an emotional, empathetic bond between characters. The best stories have heart, and that applies to any genre. And for a story to have heart, the writer needs to create empathy for the characters. Paul has several mentors throughout Burning America. He realizes that he cannot go it alone, and Paul looks for support from both of his attorneys. You can read and you can say it didn't work out all that well, but he also looks to his sister and his mom. When you introduce a mentor character, even in stories that don't necessarily follow every stage of Campbell's and Vogler's hero's journey, you're creating a relatable bond that readers and audiences can attach to on an emotional level. People instantly relate to the bond of a parent and child or teacher and student, and often those two types of relationships end up being one and the same within so many stories. In Star Wars, Ben Kenobi teaches Luke in the ways of the Force, but he's also a father figure. Luke never knew his father. While he had his uncle Owen, Ben Kenobi represents a connection to Luke's real father, which manifests as a direct father and son relationship. In The Karate Kid, Daniel is the son of a single mother. We don't know what happened to Daniel's father, but we do know he doesn't have one. Mr. Miyagi teaches him karate, but he also offers Daniel fatherly advice, helping Daniel get through challenging situations in his life that his mother can't quite relate with. In Rocky, Rocky's parents are dead. He has no one, no family. His life as a fighter hasn't worked out. He's a club fighter by night, getting paid next to nothing. By day, he's the muscle of a loan shark. There's been no one to guide Rocky away from the bad path he has taken, except for Mickey. Mickey, like any father, calls Rocky out on his bad choices. He points out Rocky's faults. He does this as a teacher of boxing, with Rocky as his student. But there's a strong father-son bond that develops between them as well. In Million Dollar Baby, Maggie is looking for someone to train her. Frank begrudgingly takes her on as a student. Their relationship develops. Maggie doesn't have a strong fatherly figure in her life, but it's Frank that is taking on the paternal bond with Maggie, substituting for his estranged daughter. A mentor character offers the reader and audience something to relate with in terms of an emotional connection to the story and the characters. 2. Guide the protagonist through the central conflict. When the protagonist is first introduced within their ordinary world, they are in a place of comfort or complacency. The best stories then take that character out of their comfort zone by throwing them into the metaphorical fire of an extreme conflict that rocks their world. For Paul, he's kicked out of his ordinary world. Paul is thrown into his central conflict and seeks guidance in the wisdom of his family and his attorneys. Sometimes the mentor isn't a character at all, but for Paul, his faith is his guide. For some stories, this is an adventure that they are called to take on. For other genres, it's an emotional journey that they will be forced to deal with. Mentors help them deal with their insecurities and weaknesses. They give confidence, knowledge, and direction. They build up the protagonist's hope and offer wisdom for them to reflect on as they deal with any inner or outer conflict. And sometimes they offer physical, supernatural, or metaphorical items that can help the protagonist succeed. And sometimes the mentor isn't a character at all. In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the mentor present within the hero's journey interpretation of that story is the information embedded within Roy's mind by the UFO he encountered, constantly pulling him to a location that he's never been to through the image of a simple but mysterious shape that he sees. Whether the mentor is a real person or something else, they also offer you the ability to use story elements to enhance the second act of your story. A protagonist taking on a conflict without any outside help can be engaging, but the second act can often falter. When you have a mentor in the mix, the second act has more meat to it with this relationship between the protagonist and the mentor, whether it's the preparation that the mentor takes the protagonist through or the conflict between the two as they do, preferably both. 3. Help you introduce story elements, themes, and exposition within the screenplay. In Star Wars, we don't learn anything about the Force until Ben Kenobi shows up, nor do we learn about Luke's father and the history of Darth Vader. Paul does not know how to navigate the legal system, nor, alone, is he able to combat the custody industry. His faith, family, and attorneys reveal possibilities and hope that he can survive. In The Karate Kid, we don't learn anything about karate or the philosophical angles of it that can help Daniel through his journey until Mr. Miyagi shows up. In Lord of the Rings, we don't learn anything about what can be done about the One Ring until Gandalf appears and explains things. Mentors are an easy way for you, the writer, to offer information not only to the protagonist, but to the reader and audience as well. They can be present throughout the whole story, or they can appear briefly within the first and beginning of the second act. They can be physical items like maps or diaries, or they can be supernatural intuition or scientific evidence that helps guide the protagonist to where they need to go. They can also come in multiple forms within the story. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy has multiple mentors throughout her adventure. Professor Marvel, Glinda the Good Witch, Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and the Wizard. They all have a hand in helping her, and they all also have a hand in introducing the themes of the story. Meeting the mentor offers the protagonist someone that can guide them through their journey with wisdom, support, and even physical items. Beyond that, they help you to offer empathetic relationships within your story, as well as ways to introduce themes, story elements, and exposition to the reader and audience. Well, that's it with the three main points of this stage. Now, going through the hero's journey, especially looking at burning America and the best interests of the children. If you have not gotten a copy of the hero's journey worksheet, get in touch with me because I can help you show how to improve your story, your screenplay, creative work, fiction, whatever it might be. Until next time, this is the Doctor of Digital signing off. Until that time, Deus Vult.